Right, so the last time you heard from me, we was talking about Gyokeres, and getting him over the line at the club. We've been able to do so. He was announced this past weekend, and I just feel like at the moment the mood is perfect. The mood is really good. You can tell there's a big anticipation building for this season. We've got our striker over the line. We haven't really signed what I would call a out and out striker in, we're talking 6, 7 years. Maybe going back to Aubameyang. We've had Gabriel Jesus, who as a forward, I'm not going to call him a striker, as a forward, I believe is a quality player, brings a lot to the team. Especially in our 22-23 season, he was sensational in terms of transforming our front line. Of course, we've had Havertz, who played as a number 9 for the majority of last season and maybe half of the season before. But originally, he was bought as an attacking mid. And in terms of his best position, I would imagine if you asked him, he would probably say in that hybrid attacking mid role is probably where he's most suited. But going back to Gabriel Jesus, the injuries, of course, has they've troubled him, and they've caused him to not play as many minutes as the club would like, and probably as much as he would like. And I think that's probably put him in the doors of probably being sold this season. And I feel like as much as I like him, he probably does need to go. If he doesn't, I wouldn't be annoyed, because I believe if he can stay fit, he has a lot to offer. Whether that is playing as a backup striker, or even playing off the left, or potentially even off the right, I believe he has the capabilities, the skills, and the qualities to do all of that. But this isn't about Jesus. This is about Arsenal, and this is about Gyokeres. So we've signed him. He's in the door, and he's just got this look. He's got this look in his eyes. He just looks like what I would just call a cold, stone cold killer. Like all he wants to do is score goals. Even in the interviews that he's done so far, he's presenting himself as somebody who's not necessarily a talker, not necessarily somebody who wants to do too much wordplay. He just wants to play football, get on the field, apply pressure, and score goals. And that's what we need, and that's what we love. And I feel like that's what's going to elevate the team to the next level and potentially get us over the line. So spirits are high. Of course, now all of the rumours have transitioned towards Eze. There's talks about us potentially having to put £35 million up front, and then the rest potentially being installments in order to get closer to that release clause of, I believe, 67 million. And now I'm no accountant, I'm no banker, I don't work in the club, I'm not on the negotiation floor. But to me, that doesn't sound too far fetched. That doesn't sound unreasonable. So I believe if the club can do what they need to do to get over the line, that will be another big tool in our attacking line, potentially in the midfield. And I feel like that is going to take us another step closer to where we're trying to go. So that will be a big signing, and I believe at that point, if we was to sign nobody else, I think I'd be content. That's not to say I wouldn't want anyone else. I still would want that recognized left winger, whether it's Rodrigo, Leao. There's names that have been floating around in the media. That's not to say we don't still need or want that position to be covered again. But what I'm just saying is that Eze, I believe, just adds that flexibility across that line, whether it's in the 10, whether it's on the left side, the left inside forward as well. Of course, we've already signed Madueke, as I've touched on before, and I can imagine he's going to be able to play on the left as well, if needs be, although preferentially he's probably going to want to play on the right side. So things are looking good. And now, today, on the 31st of July, we have a game. And that game is the North London Derby. However, it's not taking place in North London. It's taking place in Hong Kong. So this is the first North London Derby to take place overseas, I believe. I mean, whoever's a fact checker, go and do your facts and let me know. Maybe I got that wrong, but to my knowledge, this is the first one. And of course, it's pre-season, so we're not going to pretend like there's going to be so much significance on the game and the ramifications. However, Whenever you play Tottenham as an Arsenal fan, you always want to win. You always want to have those bragging rights, even though if these are going to be maybe softer bragging rights, you always want to win regardless. And you most definitely do not want to lose, whether it's in Singapore, whether it's in M5. It doesn't matter where it is. You don't want to lose. So hoping that we get a start from Gyokeres and he actually is able to start for us and potentially score, maybe score two. Shit, maybe even score three. You never know. So it's going to be interesting to see how he blends into the squad. Um, what the chemistry is going to be like in the first few games. Also, it's going to be interesting to see if actually Arteta starts him. I hope so. Just to give him a run out, give him 50 minutes, give him 60 minutes, and just see what he does and what he's able to come up with. Um, but it's going to be interesting. We've already heard Thomas Frank on the Tottenham side talk up Arsenal and say, how good of a team that we are. And my guy, we don't need to hear you talking about how good we are. We already know what it is, my guy. Sit your ass down. All right, let me calm down. But yeah, it's not about potential now. It's now about delivering. And I'm talking more in the sense of going into the season and then when the season starts, it's about now delivering. There's no potential. It's not about that. The players are of age. They've had title races. They've had close run-ins. If we're even talking about on the Champions League level, and I feel like in terms of our preseason thus far, we've played Milan. We also played Newcastle. I feel like this Tottenham game is going to be a nice barometer for just where the attitude is at. In the first two games, I didn't see anything to demonstrate that the players aren't focused on, aren't ready, and aren't getting towards a certain type of match sharpness, especially against Newcastle, considering we went a goal down. And then it went to 2-2 as well because Newcastle pulled it back to 2-2, and then we win again. But even still, I feel like this Tottenham game is going to be a big one in the sense of application and how we're going to see the team perform and how they gel. Chemistry, the little tweaks in the tactics as well, which I think we've seen, especially given Zubimendi and how he's played in these first two preseason games. I can definitely see a little tweak, even the situation where Calafiori has been playing on the left side of that the centre back partnerships, and kind of trying to play balls through the middle of the park, similar to what Zubimendi's doing slightly higher up. But there's definitely something that is being unlocked there in trying to break the lines from the back line in order to get a faster attacking transition going forward. That's definitely something that I've noticed so far. And yeah, long may that continue and that continue to grow and evolve. And then we can actually open up different styles of play, even as I've been touching on with Gyokeres, whether it is getting more direct into him and punching it into his feet. Maybe we're going to see more headed goals from him, and he's going to be a bit more of a target man in that sense. But yeah, that all goes without saying. I feel like the game is going to be something that is going to tell us a lot, even if it is still preseason. As I keep saying, it's only the 31st of July. It's 2 weeks, a little bit over 2 weeks before the season actually starts proper. So we still got some time, but I feel like we're in good footing at the moment. Yeah, let's see what we do. Let's go.